Hey, look at that. We got some people here. Ronnie, what's going on, man? Just got home from work. What a day. What a damn day. Yeah, it happens, man. All right, Ronnie, have a good one, man. Matt Lake, what's going on? Anxiously waiting for the diff service. Well, I can tell you. Innoxious. The steering, what's going on, dude? God, what's it like 2 o'clock in the morning for you? 1 o'clock, maybe? I don't even know. Somewhere around there. Yeah, Matt, that video will be dropping tomorrow. Well, obviously, you know, I'm sure you're aware the front and rear diffs obviously have different fluid in them. So the biggest thing is obviously trying to figure out exactly what fluid is in them. And then, man, I'm wondering what the heck they used in the center diff, because, man, that thing is locked up. It's locked up nice. 303. Holy crap, dude. That's crazy. What happened to what? The diff? Or what happened to this thing? Oh, no, locked up meaning whatever they've got in that center diff, it is. Yeah, actually, I'll show you right now. It's kind of hard to exactly show, but obviously this is the center diff. There's the front. Leaving the shaft on just gives you something to grab onto. Obviously, we got bearings here, so I'll just take the bearings off just for a second. These two bearings are exactly the same. Obviously, the front bearing is different. We'll leave that pin in there. But obviously, normally with a diff, you know, you'd get some kind of, you know, twist. You'd be able to twist, you know, something. But, man, I'm telling you, if you've just got this in your raw fingers and you're trying to twist here and here, it's almost a no-go. I'm not saying that it's seized. It's just wondering what weight fluid that they actually put in here. So obviously, if you put, you know, a shaft that you can grab onto and apply some torque, then you can spin this. But man, I'm telling you, you want to talk about spinning? I mean, there's no spin. So I don't know what kind of movement that they're trying to get out of this center diff, but I'm saying there's no movement. I mean, it's got a heavyweight fluid in there. So, I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out exactly what it is. But between the front and center diff, obviously the front diff definitely has a lot lighter fluid in it than the rear diff. You can just tell that by hand. But we're just kind of keeping this, you know, together for now. But yeah, there's your center diff right there. It's just a couple screws just to pull it apart. So, but we got to clean everything, and I got to figure out what I want to bathe it in. Whether if I want to use Lacathin or whatever. That's usually my go-to stuff. I've got, you know, a combination of, when I clean carburetor parts, I've got this kind of like concoction. It's in a giant coffee ground container. It's a combination of gas and diesel and brake clean, Obviously, the brake clean dissipates, but brake clean, lacquer thinner, just whatever's a type of a solvent. So, but just gotta obviously be careful of the plastics, because obviously the plastics are permeable or porous. So obviously these can probably only take just so many times of cleaning, and then the plastic might start getting affected. So, but as long as you do it quick and just kind of like use a brush, maybe not dunk it and leave it, to melt in that concoction that I've got. But it's just like cleaning stuff. We probably won't even have to open the center diff, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because it's part of that video. Like, what's in the center diff, how many parts are comprised of this unit as a total. So it does need exterior cleaning. I mean, there's sand and grit and stuff that's still in there. Obviously, whenever you do something like this, also wear like some type of hand protection, gloves, whatever. That way you can keep all these, solvents and all this grease and all that stuff kind of, out of your bloodstream, I guess. So that's about it. That's all I got to say about that. The grit on those Maxes, man, I'm telling you, it's literally it's the design of the vehicle. There's so many open areas for all that debris to get in there. It's one of those things where it's a give and take. You got to give a little bit to get something. So you're getting resilience in the vehicle because it's all plastic and everything. It's got, a bunch of bracing and whatever, but you still have a bunch of joints, front and rear bulkheads are separate from the chassis, but it's all integrated into one. Then you've got that center spine or center brace or center skid, whatever you want to call that. The two joints where the front skid plate and the rear skid plate abut that. There's open areas there. So it's literally, you'd have to like silicone everything if you were trying to seal this thing up. And I don't know, it's just it's a flaw, but not. It's a flaw in the design, but not. I mean, how do you keep out all that stuff and then still kind of maintain, I don't know, strength? You need a little bit of flex, but you need rigidity. So it's like seal up the only thing though, man, when you seal up joints with grease, you're almost asking for contaminants to collect. So it's a toss-up. The way I look at it is it's kind of like vehicles, right? So if you drive a vehicle and I should actually talk to the camera. So if you drive your vehicle, I don't even know what microphone's being used. I can't tell. Yeah, trade-off. Yeah, you're right. Whoa. It's like the big screen. So it's that trade-off. So like if you have if you read your owner's manual on your vehicle, right? And let's say you got a Jeep, or let's say you got a truck or something that you do off-road, and it might even have something in a manual for a car. Some of these all-wheel drive cars, whatever, but it says that if the conditions are dusty or dirty consistently wherever you drive, let's say you drive in the desert and there's dust all the time or whatever, they tell you got to replace your air filter, more often than not, more often than maybe what the scheduled maintenance is. And that's kind of the way, well, not this, but that's kind of the way, all these RCs are, is that you gotta figure out, what are you doing to it? So I haven't broken into that Max, and this is the first time popping that cover. And obviously you saw there was actually still water inside, which that's no good when you think about that. Technically, when was the last time I drove that thing? I didn't drive it in water. I drove it in snow. So I don't know if it's from being submerged in water or if it's being impacted with snow, where snow just got over the entire thing. I actually did do a video, or I should say, I actually videoed it, but I didn't put the video out there only because I felt like the footage was junk. Like it just didn't come out, I guess, what I expected. The wheels got so impacted with snow that I think the max drove. I don't even know if it was a full battery. That there were too many like unknowns with it. It was like one of those things where I was plowing all